Hello, hello, and welcome back to the channel. As most of you know, I'm Topher. And for those of you who don't know and just randomly decided to click on my video, welcome to the channel. I'm Topher. Thank you for stopping by. So we're here to do a reaction, and we're diving back into Lovely Writer. We're diving into episode 11, the second half of the episode's reaction. If you saw my first half, you already know what's going on. You know where my thoughts are. So this is going to be parts 3 and 4. And yeah, we're just going to dive on in. No long intro. We're just going to see what happens, where things go. He gonna be a star now too? Lord. I hate it here. Eccentric would say, I hate it here. Got my stickers. I've been meaning to get like a paddle or something so I can put the sticker on, so anytime I say it I can just raise it up because I hate it here. Oh God. Like for me, yes, it's sad. It's very sad. But more so than anything, it is just so incredibly frustrating. That's really what I'm feeling like towards the tail end of the series with this episode. Like, it's just so incredibly frustrating because, like I said, it really should just be as easy as saying, you guys don't want us together? Fine. Fuck you guys. Bye. Peace out. Like, this is our relationship. Like, it really should be that easy. Their relationship shouldn't have to answer to his job, the fans, right? Like, no, their relationship is theirs, and it's nobody's business but theirs, and they shouldn't have to. It really should just be about them being in love, especially after this journey we've gone on this entire series to get us to this point. Like, it really should just be about the two of them being together, embracing one another, and, you know, what anyone else has to say, be damned. But I understand, like, my head is jumping all around the episode. I understand both sides of the argument, or both sides of both of their perspectives. Gene is approaching the situation with his head, where Sib is approaching the situation with his heart. Sib has led this whole series heart first. Like, logic, he don't know her. All he knows is emotion. And Gene has been, you know, for the most part, more level-headed, and he's viewing this as, okay, this is not just about you and me right now. There are all these other people who shouldn't be involved in our relationship, but for whatever godforsaken reason, they are. And I don't want, like, yes, he was saying, you know, I want to advance my career. I want you to advance in his career. And sure, I'm sure Gene does want to advance in his career too. But I don't think that's the reason why he's doing that in any way, shape, or form. This is all about Sib. Like he said to Sib, I care about you. I care about your feelings, which is why I have to do this. Like, he is thinking about Sib long term. He's thinking about Sib's future. And while this is a shitty situation and it shouldn't exist, it should not be this way, it's the reality of the situation in, you know, in their world. So Gene is saying, I don't want you to throw away your future just because of, you know, this thing that we have going on, even though I feel like that's a little too casual to refer to, you know, their relationship, especially after everything they've been through. Like it's not just a casual, oh yeah, you know, I met him in college, or, you know, it's my first high school boyfriend, blah blah, we've been dating for 2 months. Like, it's not one of those casual situations. This is a love that's developed in childhood and has spent the last however many decades brewing and finally has come to fruition. Like, this is one of those burning, passionate loves that people dream about having. Not saying that it's necessarily going to guarantee them a lifetime together. You know, they could break up for whatever reason in the future. But, like, still, this is one of those kind of loves and romances that people just they yearn for. This is what they want. They want that sort of deep emotional connection. They want to feel that connection with another person, and like they have that. So I don't think it's should be discarded as casually as, you know, people are trying to do in this episode. But again, I understand. Jean is saying, I don't want you just to throw away your future because of me. I don't want you to potentially not have a career, not be able to be, you know, financially stable, this and the other. I don't want you to break your contract and get fined, blah, 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 because of me. And because of that, since I know you can't make this decision, I'm making this decision for us, because I want you to be okay in the future. I want you to have a successful career. It'll come at the cost of, you know, my feelings, my emotions, and my heart right now, but I want you to be okay. And Sib is on the other end of the spectrum where he's like, no, fuck this shit, fuck everybody, fuck all y'all meddling into my business, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. The fans, if they don't want me to be with Jean, fuck every one of them. The ones who are, you know, hashtag SibGean, whatever, y'all my true fans, I love y'all. Y'all can come to the wedding. But like everybody else, y'all can go because I've been in love with this man for decades, and I will continue to be in love with this man for decades. I have worked long and hard to secure this man, to get this man to realize the feelings, to remember me, to realize that he has these feelings, to realize that my feelings are not a game, they're not a joke, and to finally embrace. The man came out to his fucking family. We are, like, I'm not letting this bitch go for nothing, okay? So, y'all wanna, so, again, two very different sides of the spectrum, and I understand both of them. I understand Jean's logical approach to the situation because he wants the best for Sib, and I understand Sib's very passionate, emotional response because this is what he's been working for, and now everybody is telling him that, no, you can't have this. I need you to pretend and be with this guy over here that nobody in the series wants to be with, apparently, except for Mook, which I haven't seen, well, I was gonna say in a while, but it's been this episode. But like, it's frustrating that this even has to be a solution, that this is even a problem. And what makes it even more frustrating for me is, like, this is the reality for a lot of, well, I can't speak for, you know, BL actors and whatnot because I'm not one of them, but I know that you guys have let me know that there are certain BL actors, and I forget which names you guys have put down in the comment sections throughout this journey, but there's certain, you know, BL actors who've been through this and have left the industry, have quit acting because of, you know, the way the rabid fan base has affected their personal lives. And it's like, it is a shame. And I know that there are going to be lots of people, maybe not people who are watching this reaction, but there are going to be lots of people who watch this series, and they're just going to write off what this narrative is trying to tell, because it is a very unfortunate situation, but it's a situation that happens in real life. And I know there's going to be lots of people who watch this and be like, oh, well, you know, they're just fictional characters, so it's not a big deal. Because I've gotten those comments on so many series that I've reacted to, on so many times I've gone off on series, gone off on random tangents because something set me off. Bad Buddy. And other series as well, but that's just the first one that comes to mind because that fan base, we had exchanges of words. But there's so many instances where people are like willing to just write off the things that these characters are doing because, oh, well, they're fictional, they're fake characters, so it's not real life, it's fine. He could, to quote Bad Buddy again, it's totally fine that Y outed them because in this world, you know, homophobia doesn't exist. It doesn't exist, so it's perfectly fine. And I'm like, you know what? That's fucking bullshit, because he kept it a secret for a reason. So if he wanted to, you know, just be out and proud with his relationship, then he would have been out and proud with his relationship, but he chose to keep it a secret for a reason, and what that reason is, we don't know. Maybe it was a safety issue, maybe homophobia is not as dead as in this universe as you like to expect, or maybe it's something else, who knows, but he had no right to out him. Still talking Bad Buddy. Here, same situation, yes, these are fictional characters, and, you know, just because they're fictional characters does not mean this stuff isn't happening in real life. So just because it's fictional characters doesn't mean we can just write off the situation as, oh, okay, well, they're just fake, so, it's fine that the fan base is going crazy and shipping it, whatever. That doesn't happen. This shit happens in real life. It happens every damn day. I see it happen on the interwebs all the damn time. Like I said in my reaction to the first half of this episode. Like, yes, these characters, you fall in love with them, and it's nice to see them together, and you want them to be together, and it's nice because that's how you came to know them. That's how you met them. But at the end of the day, that doesn't mean that they have to be together. That does not mean that they have to live their lives to service the fans. Like, yes, the fans made them popular and got them to where they are, but at the same time, they're actors. I don't know how many times I got to say this. Like, as a performer, as an actor, I've been in many shows, many plays, many musicals. I've done all kinds of acting and whatnot. It's a job. Yes, the chemistry might be real for some pairs, and for others, they are just really good at their job. But at the end of the day, it is a job, and my job should not dictate my personal life. My personal life should not dictate my job. The two things should be mutually exclusive. So, like, it's frustrating. It's frustrating to see this happening to the characters, and it's frustrating for me knowing that there are going to be people who watch this series and just write off all of the negativity that's happening in this scenario because they're just fictional characters, and it doesn't matter. They're fake, and it's like, no, this shit happens, and it's that mentality that gets no changes happening in the real world that makes this continue to happen because nobody is going to step in and stop it. And it's frustrating. It's terribly frustrating. But we'll put a pin in that tirade and we'll come back to the actual episode itself. The last 8 minutes of this episode where absolutely no talking happened, or very minimal talking happened, and it was just a bunch of music and singing and crying. And then I'm like, okay, the episode's gonna end. This is sad. And then no, the music stops and the scene continues and they keep talking, or they keep looking at each other. And then they say 2 more lines, and then they start crying again, and the music starts up again. I'm like, why are you attacking me like this? And then, okay, fine, we this is how we have to leave it. Jean runs off, cool, whatever, leave Sid there. Fine, cool, that's where it's gonna end. Surely that's where the episode ends. Nope, now we're back in the apartment with Jean, and he's packing up. I'm like, okay, fine. We're underscoring, and we're singing while he's packing up, and he's sad, and blah, 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 blah. And then he finds the dragon, and then he starts remembering about how the dragon broke its wing, and he's crying. I'm like, okay, surely this is where the episode's gonna end. He's crying into the dragon's face here on the bed, episode ends. Nope. No. We gotta go talk to Siv now on our way out the apartment. So okay, and then we have that whole moment there. I'm like, okay, well, this is where it ends. It's gonna end with Jean walking off and Siv just kind of sitting there lingering, looking like, oh my god, I can't believe how heartbroken I am. Like, okay, this is where the episode ends. Done. Nope. Now we got to deal with Tom and Tiffy. I'm like, or that might have happened before. I don't remember. But there were so many fake endings that happened where I'm like, okay, finally I can just rest. And they're like, nope, haha, here you go. Here's some more stabs to the heart. And then we had the ending with him and his dad. And then finally the damn episode ended. I'm like, Jesus, this is too much of an emotional attack that I'm on right now, because each one of these moments, it makes me want to cry. And I kind of was to a certain degree. I've managed to keep a lot of it in. But I'm very emotional watching this. I'm like, okay, let me just have my moment to breathe. And they're like, nope, nah, just kidding. We're going to dig the knife in a little bit more. All right, now we're going to twist the knife. All right, now we're going to grab a second knife, and we're just going to see if we can, double penetrate in the same hole with the 2 knives. All right, now we're just going to... All right, now I'm going to hold these 2 knives, and I'm going to get a flamethrower, and I'm going to see if I can light these knives on fire. And it's just can y'all just give me a break? Can y'all give me a fucking break, please? Because I am at an emotional state right now, and I can't. Give me a break, please, and thank you. Signed, Topher. Lord, Jesus. But yeah, so the last 10 minutes of this episode were just a personal attack on me, and it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to see, because it shouldn't be this way. It should not be this way. Their relationship should be nobody else's business. All right, but if we backtrack to earlier in the episode, when they had the meeting, Lord, 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 this meeting, y'all, this meeting. I was getting all kinds of frustrated again because I understand where the company is coming from. I understand where Boo is coming from when she was talking to Jean and when she was talking to Heen. I understand it all. Like, should their relationship have this effect on all this? No, but unfortunately, it does. In this world, it does. Well, in our world too. So unfortunately, it's having these adverse effects on everybody, and everyone from like the corporate or like the company side who keeps talking to Jean and Sib, keeps talking to them like, you guys, you have to stop being so selfish. You can't be so selfish, because there's other people's jobs on the line here. There's so many people working at the company, the writing company, like the writing house, whatever it's called. I'm losing the track of words. Who aren't involved in this, but their jobs are being affected by this too. There's all kinds of people who are being affected who weren't immediately involved, and it shouldn't be that way, but it is. So you guys got to stop being so selfish. And I'm like, I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair. It's not fair. And I don't think that if they chose to be in a relationship, that's them being selfish. I find it selfish of everybody else to make them choose to not be in a relationship for everyone else's well-being, because neither of them asked for you guys to get involved in their situation. Neither of them asked for this. And it's not fair. It's not fair. So again, I understand where all of like the corporate people are coming from. Business is business, and they're just trying to look out for their their bottom line. They're trying to make money. So I understand where they're coming from, but it's still not fair. It still sucks. So in that meeting, like the plan they came up with, it made logical sense to me. Like, I completely understand the plan of like, okay, you guys just cease contact. Just at least in my head, it was publicly just cease contact. But then they kept explaining like, hey, don't talk to each other, don't see each other, no likes, no nothing on social media, this, that, and the other, nothing. Just forget each other exist for like 4 more months, and then you guys can do whatever you want. And I'm like, no. Like, if the plan was just to stay under the radar, like that was the original plan to begin with, and they just were terrible at staying under the radar. But if the plan was just to, hey, stay under the radar, maybe don't go public on social media with all this stuff, maybe don't be seen looking all cutesy wootsy in public, I understand that plan. And I'm more like, if I were in this situation, I would be more open to potentially working with that plan. But when you're telling me that, hey, the person you're in love with, I need you to essentially break up, and then you keep labeling it as like, oh, I'm not telling you to break up, I just want you to take a break for now, and then you guys can get back together after things die down. And it's like, too controlling. And like Sid kept saying, this shit ain't in my contract. This ain't in my fucking contract. And like, if that were in the contract, A, that'd be a fucked up contract, and I would not sign that. But B, like, I don't even know what my B was, but like, he kept saying like, girl, this is not in my contract. So you said I shouldn't have a boyfriend, but you never said I couldn't have a boyfriend. And like, I get it, being the teen heartthrob and the idol and all that kind of stuff. The fans love to see, either them be single and attainable and like, oh, I dream to be with that person, or they like to see them portray the ships that they're doing on TV. Like, I get it. We're trying to keep up appearances so that we can make sales and everything's going well. But at the end of the day, I'm like, it shouldn't matter, because they are fucking actors. They are actors. I don't know how I'm not gonna let this die, y'all. I can't let this die, because like, I'm not in any way, shape, or form in any kind of romantic relationship, and I ain't got no time for any of that. But like, if I were, I will be damned if someone at my job tells me that I'm not allowed to be with the person that I love because it looks Not even that it looks bad for the business, but because the business needs me to pretend to be with someone. Fuck that shit. No, miss me with that noise. I ain't got time for it. I don't have the slightest bit of time. Y'all can go somewhere else with all that nonsense, because I'm like, no. Yeah, so there were lots of things that were being said in that meeting that were just getting me frustrated, and like I was on Sib's side. And Sib kept snapping back at Tom's sister like, look, you're saying all this stuff and about how I'm being selfish, but the only person I'm seeing here who's being selfish is you, because y'all keep asking me to do things for other people and to benefit everybody else, and that doesn't sound like it's selfish on my end. That sounds like selfish. And she's like, how dare you say these things? I'm like, girl, he just speaking facts. He's just speaking straight truth right now. So if you can't handle the truth that's being spit at you, maybe you don't need to be in this business. Maybe you don't need to be in this position of power. Yeah, but in that particular moment when she was so adamant, because like it wasn't even the fact that she was asking them to pretend to be broken up or to pretend not to be an item or anything like that, that was really rubbing me the wrong way or making me not like her, because she's just doing her job. Again, I understand it's a business and they're trying to, save face publicly and, salvage the situation. So like her doing her job, that doesn't bother me. But like, it was just the way that she kept approaching it and the way she was speaking, it felt very, very disconnected. It felt very cold. And I'm sitting here thinking, I wonder if she's been heartbroken, or if she's never been in a loving relationship. Not in a relationship, but in a relationship where there was true passionate, burning love. Because I feel like anybody who's been in that sort of situation would have a different bedside manner in approaching the situation. In approaching somebody to, pretend not to be in a relationship. Like anyone who's really been truly in love or in one of those kind of situations wouldn't just so coldly and clinically just be like, you guys need to stop seeing blah blah blah. Like it's just a different approach in how she would have spoken to Sib and Jean. It's like, I get it, business is business, but there was just something about her approach here that just felt very cold and detached from the situation. So then when she was having her conversation with Tom and he's like, I guess that's why your husband left you, I'm like, oops, shit, okay, that's the tea we're sipping on today. Okay. I see. Okay. Feelings I was having in the back of my head. I was getting these tingles in the back of my head. And I'm like, okay, I guess I was right about something. And then, obviously she didn't like that. So she quick up, snatched him. Was like, oh, what, you gonna punch me now? You gonna hit me? Blah, blah, blah. And that was a very heated conversation happening between the two of them. And it made me, I don't know if I spoke the whole time. I don't know if I did. I feel like I just sat there the whole time I'll have to go back and see, but I don't know if I said a word during that whole conversation, because it was just it was so, I got, just like with Jean and Sib, I understood both sides of the argument. And that's one thing that I love about this series. It's so good about not painting one-dimensional villains, or not just having a villain for villain's sake. Every time there's some person or something that comes up as an obstacle or a villain in the series, they always find some way to give it depth and to give it some form of character that you weren't really expecting, you didn't really need to know you needed, but it makes these characters human. They're not just these one-dimensional villain for the sake of being a villain. And it's it is so much more interesting, and it really brings up this conflict in me, because yes, I don't like her because she's trying to break up my ship, but at the same time, when she was going in on Tom, yeah, I'm selfish, that's why I put you through college, that's why everything you have, that's why you have everything you have, that's why this, that, and the other. She's been taking care of him for a long time. They may have mentioned something about their parents at some point during the series. Honestly, I don't remember. I've been watching this series for so long, so some of those finer details, I don't remember if it happened early in the season. But maybe they didn't mention anything about their parents. I don't know where their parents are. But she's been taking care of him for a long time, in some way, shape, or form. So she has worked very, very hard to get to the place where she is. And like you're saying, you may not get to this place without being the kind of person that I am. So yes, I'm selfish, but me being selfish got me into this business, got me to this position of power, got me this house, this car, your house, your car, the blah 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 blah. Listing out all, got you into college, got you this, that, and the other. So like, yes, I'm selfish, but a lot of the selfishness that I did put you where you are today. I did it to get you to where you are today. So it's like, it's this very interesting conflict where it's like, I don't like you, but at the same time, I understand a lot of what you're saying, and I understand these personality traits and why you are the way you are. I don't know all of your history. I don't know what happened with you and your husband. I'm sure that that's a whole nother series that we could, spin-off series we could go down. But it's like, I just love this series' ability to take these villains and humanize them and make them not necessarily likable, but understandable. The number of times I've said throughout this series when it's come to Oi, and I know you guys keep telling me I keep mispronouncing it, but at this point it's stuck in my head this way. Plus, I'm pretty sure when Gene picked up his phone at the top of like episode 3, when he texted, it said OIE or something like that. And the spelling of it keeps changing from part of this series to part of this series. In the credits, I'm pretty sure it says AEY. At some points I see it spelled AOEY or something like that. So I'm like, I don't fucking know. He's Oi right now. That's how he's gonna be for the rest of the series. I only got two more of these things to record. But like, even with him, the number of times I've said with him, this explains so much about him. It doesn't excuse anything he's done, but it explains so much. Like, it, that's one of the just magical qualities of this show. They have this way of just fleshing out these characters and just making you go, huh, you know what? They make sense. That makes sense. I don't agree with their actions. I don't agree with what they did. They said blah, 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 but it makes sense. And it's just incredible. Incredible writing. Incredible directing. Yeah. I think Oh, and then that moment with Tom and Tiffy. I know I kind of glazed over it a little bit when I was going through my 700 attacks on my emotions. But just to see how emotional he was, because you can tell that these are a lot of things that he's had in the back of his mind that he was saying to his sister. Lots of things he's had boiling and bubbling under the surface that finally all just came bursting out in this big conflict. And, you know, that conflict was left unresolved. Like, they didn't leave in a very good place. He walked off and just like, you know, get out of here and don't bother coming back. And, you know, it's a very heightened emotional place. So, but he got out a lot of things that he's wanted to say for a long time. And basically, like, stay out of my business. Like, my job is to do this, stay out of my business. Outside of that, this is what I do in my free time, is what I do in my free time. So when he went over to Tiffy's place, and he couldn't speak. He couldn't speak. And she's like, okay, well, if you're not going to say anything, then I'm just going to leave. And then, you know, he put his arm in the door because, like, he needed to see her. He needed to be there with her, but he didn't have words to say. And then, you know, he had his back turned to her when he finally went to the apartment. And she's like, you know, why didn't you say anything? And it's like, you can just see him welling up with tears. And it's like all this emotion. There's so much to say, but he just doesn't have the words. And all he could do is just fall into her and just cry. And it's like, oh, God, that is so heartbreaking, but so beautiful to see. Like, just, like, we know he's had this crush on Tiffy for the longest, but to see how much he truly cares and how comfortable he is with her, the fact that he is willing to just let down, she is the person that he can let that guard down with. Like, I don't have to be strong, I don't have to be a manly man or anything like that. Like, look, I don't have words to say, and all I need is somebody to just hold me. I'm emotionally distraught, and I just need someone to hug me. And he just falls into her, and it's just, it's beautiful. Speaking of needing a hug, Oi needs a hug. Lord, that boy needs a hug. He always needs a hug. Like, every time he's on screen, that man needs a hug. And I don't know that by the end of this series, he's going to get character resolution that he needs. But boy needs therapy. He needs therapy. He needs a hug. He needs a lot of things. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But yeah. all in all, like both parts of this episode together, just hella emotional. God, what a. But like I hate to see it, but I love to see the representation, and I knew that we needed some sort of drama to build because it was the penultimate episode. We needed something to happen so that in the final episode we can have whatever resolution we're gonna have, or whatever resolution I think we're gonna have. Oh man, what a series, what a journey we've been on. I don't know if I have the energy in me right now to watch the last episode. That might have to wait until tomorrow or the next day or something, because I'm like, I don't know. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction and my rambling, ranting session that I went on. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, turn on notifications so you'll be notified when all of my shenanigans get posted. If there's anything else you'd like me to react to, be sure to leave it down in the comments and I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. If you'd like to support the channel in other ways, you're more than welcome to join us over on Patreon. You don't have to, but you're more than welcome to if you want to. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Love you. And before you guys go, a shout out to my amazing patrons. I can't begin to express how thankful I am for your support. And if you guys would like to join us over on Patreon, the link is down in the description. Love you guys.